How are you, everybody? Hope that you're doing absolutely amazing today. It's Fabi Paolini here, and I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on. I shared this post yesterday, and I thought it was just really interesting to be able to tell you a little bit of the behind the scenes of what happened. So I shared yesterday, last night, that I have made over 60K in the last 30 days, and that's cash, by the way. Um, and and I kind of want to share with you a little bit of how I did it and how you can basically do the same thing. So the first thing that you need to know behind this is that I just started working last week. So I've been on maternity leave. I just started last week. I took the whole month of January off. I took a little bit of December off, whole month of January. Just started last week. Barely started, like it's not like I'm all the way working every single day all day because I have a 1-month-old baby. So I don't really have the luxury of being like, well, let me just spend 8 hours on the computer. Not that I ever spent 8 hours on the computer. I haven't done any launches. I haven't increased my ad spend. I'm spending the same amount of money I've always spent on ads. What else? I haven't been particularly visible. I mean, this is probably the first Facebook Live that I've been able to do. I've been a little bit, okay, my hair needs to be fixed here. Okay, I've been, obviously, it's kind of crazy with the baby, trying to work and fit all the things in. It makes it sometimes a little bit difficult for me to be able to sit down and do these videos, but I'm trying to find my way through it and fit the time to do it. I haven't been working a ton, so I've been working maybe 3 hours, 4 hours a day. When I get lucky, if I can fit in 5 hours, I'll do 5 hours, but really it's been like mostly 3 or 4 hours every single day. The dog is barking. So that's kind of what I've been doing, right? Like just really been focusing on chilling, taking it easy. And the reason why I've been able to do this is that I have built for myself a really, really effective and strong marketing strategy and system that really generates leads for me consistently. I do have a salesperson who has been taking sales calls for me, but that's about it. Like I'm not really extremely active. And the reason why I've been able to do all of these things is that I have a really, really, really effective marketing strategy. Plus I have a very, very strong brand, very clear message, and I have an offer that people really almost can't resist. So even if I'm not actively working, actively showing up every single day, it's still making money for me. It's still making sales on autopilot most of the time. So yes, I do have a salesperson. I do have Deb working for me, but I also have sales that are going on for other things that are happening automatically on their own. So it's pretty amazing. And you might think, okay, this is like, okay, Fabi, great, good for you, that's amazing. But what I want you to know is that this isn't really impossible, number one. Number two, I was journaling this morning thinking about when I would like dream about this moment, like when I was praying for it, and just 2 years ago thinking like it was impossible for this to happen. Worse than that, just a year ago, January of 2018, I was like, I think I made $8,000 in all of January, which is a good money, like good income, but it's not 60K. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not like, oh my God, this has been, this is my 5th year doing this. There will be a point when that's going to happen, but in 5 years, it's going to be a lot more than 60K that I'm going to be making, right? But anyways, all this to say that I know it sounds like impossible, but it truly is not. So I want to give you 3 things, and I have my notes here so I don't forget. 3 things that you need to do or you need to have in place in order for you to be able to build this multiple 6-figure business in your year. And also how to be able to reach these sort of numbers with ease, like the way that I'm doing it right now. Obviously, I'm not hustling or killing myself to make it happen. I mean, it is 10 a.m. and I'm just sitting down right now to work. So just to give you a little bit of perspective. So, okay, the first thing is clarity. And, obviously this is something that we've heard a lot, people talk about and like, oh yeah, you need to have clarity, blah, 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 blah. Sounds great, but what does it mean? And I think that this is really fundamental. The first thing that you really need to be clear about is your messaging, like what is it that really you want to say about who you are, right? Like, what is it that you stand for as a brand? What is your core message? What is it that you feel within you that really is going to make an impact on this world? So I think that that's the first thing that we need to get clear of. Also, before that is clarity on what it is that you want and why it is that you want it. I honestly feel like that's probably one of the most important things, because basically the more clear that you are on what it is that you want, the easier it is for you to be able to stick with it, so that you don't give up in the process, right? Because I know how easy it is to give up when things get tough. Like, I mean, it's an easy way out, basically, right? So if you're really clear about what it is that you want and why it is that you want it, you're more likely to stick with it. So that's really the first thing. So it's that kind of like the clarity around your mindset and about what you want, messaging. And I would say clients. That is really fundamental. And I know that kind of crazy, but I think that first part around clarity is just getting a lot of clarity around who your ideal audience is. For me, it has taken years of study. So yes, I mean, as a brand strategy coach, obviously I'm really good at audience, but still it's taken me a long time for me to evaluate, to analyze, to really try to understand who my audience is and what their needs are. And that has evolved over the years. So currently, for example, the great majority of my clients are people who are mostly starting out in their businesses. So they might already be doing something, or they might be like literally at zero, right? But these aren't people who have been in business for 6 years and they just need a rebrand and that's it. Because what I do is really not necessarily around rebranding. It's more about uncovering who you are, what you're like, finding your voice as a brand, finding what it is that you're about, basically, and then building your brand, building your business around that, including obviously all the design part and marketing, so that you could have a strategy like mine, not necessarily the same, obviously, but you could have a strategy similar to mine where you're able to bring in clients automatically without you having to hustle and go crazy every single day. So it all starts with that part, right? Like that, getting clarity around who your clients are. So clarity on your mindset, clarity on your message, and clarity on your clients. So the other thing that I feel is really fundamental for you to be able to build success in your business is differentiation. And I always talk about this. I know I'm almost annoying about it, but at the end of the day, that's what branding and that's what marketing is all about, right? Differentiating yourself from everybody else so that it's really clear what it is that makes you unique and why it is that you're special, like why it is that people need to work with you versus somebody else. So definitely differentiation is fundamental, because the thing is with differentiation, on one hand, it gives you confidence, right? It gives you that confidence to be like, okay, I know how good I am. I know that I'm amazing. I know that there's nobody else out there that's better than me. So when you have that, like that strong feeling within you, and you're like, yeah, like I'm such a freaking badass, you really show up differently in the world. And then the other part of that differentiation is building an offer that's different, which is part of the reason why I was able to build or make this amount of money in the last 30 days, is because I have built an offer for myself that really not a lot of people can give, right? Where you're giving people their messaging, we're helping them with their structure, with their offer, with their branding, with their web design, with their marketing strategy, with their visibility plan, like having all these things where you have a designer, a copywriter, somebody that's helping you with your funnel, a web developer, like all these people into one. It's not very, very common. So for me, having an offer that's truly unique and truly different has been really, really important in being able to reach the goals that I've been able to reach the numbers, the income that I've been able to make, right? So that's that kind of second part within differentiation. And then the third thing, so clarity, differentiation, and then the third thing is obviously client attraction. Being able to generate value and generate content consistently in a way that really makes a difference. Now, for me, I have been able to generate content sort of consistently, right? Because obviously I've been extremely distracted with a newborn baby, with now a dog, a 3-year-old, with a lot of things that have been going on in my life. But there are things that for me are like non-negotiable, right? So I send out emails to my list. I scheduled those in since before, like from last year. So I scheduled those emails in for this year. So I knew that if I wasn't going to be working, but at least my emails were going to be going out. I have my blog going on, which obviously I'm not writing a ton, although I did write a really good blog post last week, which I totally recommend you guys to check out. Actually, I'll share in the group later. But, you know, I have my blog that I'm working on consistently, and I have Pinterest connected to it. So it's driving clients or driving people into my website every single day. My funnels are really strong. And the content I'm creating in general, like my marketing strategy in general, is really, really powerful. Now, for me, what I have is a webinar, and that webinar is the webinar, like is my number one thing that I work on that generates leads for me every single day. So it took me a while though. It took me like 11 tries for it to be really effective and really, what's the word, like giving me results, or like for the conversions to be at the level that I wanted them to be. So I have all of those things going on. But what I want you to think about is like, okay, what can I do? What is it that I can offer that is something easy for me, that is something powerful enough to be able to convert people into clients, and I'm giving value, that it's not salesy, but it's more like, okay, wow, this is really, really powerful. This is really, really good. And people are like, I want to work with that person. So just really focusing on those three things, right? Having clarity, making sure that you're differentiated, and having a client attraction system where you're giving enough value, where your marketing is on point when people get to see you as an expert, and positioning you as that expert. That is really fundamental. So those are the three things that I would focus on. That's it. So I just kind of wanted to give you those three little tips here of things that you can do. Hopefully this is good, helpful for you, and I will see you soon. Let me know if you have any questions, by the way.